It's ThinkorSwim time, guys. It's another lab on daily routines this time. Now, I'm taking basically a combination of the last few labs we've done. I'll reference them as we go, but I want to kind of give you an overview on how I do a top to bottom, start to finish. Let's say it's Monday morning. What do I look at? Where do I start? How do I scan? How do I organize? What do I reference? And that's why Finviz is also part of this, guys. You have access to the Finviz Elite, you Mavericks out there, you Maverick traders. So I'm going to make reference to this. Make sure that you check out the full video that we did on that, because this is going to be more specific to ThinkorSwim. I want to break down the daily routine, but not only how I do it, but ways to do it. There's 5 or 6 different ways to do it. It's super personal. Routines are personal, and they are going to be specific to each trader, so just develop it. But I'll just give you some talking points of what you don't want to overlook, and then maybe some shortcuts. I'll do what I can. Using the outside program is important. News sources are great. Bunch of them out there. I like marketwatch.com. I like CNBC. It's usually always on my TV. I'm sure you guys have that. ThinkorSwim has a little TV, by the way. I'll show it to you. And then build an outlook on the markets, our top-down approach. Now, this is something I don't have to do every single day. But let's say you go on vacation for a little while, you step away from the markets, even though I know you're watching the markets, which you shouldn't. So knock it off. But when you get back, you probably want to start fresh. This is a good way to do it. Starts with the sectors, see where the markets are going, find your outperformers, your underperformers, and go from there. All right, guys, that's an overview of what I want to do. Let's see if we get it done. Let's jump into the software. Now, you can look at your monitor tab. That's great. If this is pre-market, it's not going to do you a hill of beans, or post-market. You should have a plan of attack for your existing trades. You should have set up alerts, alarms, or have some sort of adjustments or management system in place before these trades were implemented. If you don't know what I'm talking about, folks, go ahead and refer to my creating and saving orders, because I got into that pretty specifically. Yes. It was a cruel joke. This shouldn't make a difference when it comes to your daily routine. Now, of course it will. They're your positions. They're going to bing and they're going to ding and they're going to tell you you got to make an adjustment, add this, subtract that. That's fine. But when it comes to finding the sentiment of the markets, do not let your positions dictate it. Right? Lesson learned. So where do we start? Well, I'll tell you where we start. On our news vehicles. And in this case, my news vehicle for today is Finviz. Now, yes, it's during the day. Here we are. Boy, we're actually mid part of the day. That's fine. This could be pre-market. The idea is to get an idea of what is going on in the overall markets. This is over the weekend or midweek. Anything changed? This is where you're going to kind of scroll down and look for any sort of news headlines. What I like about the Finviz, and I'll give you a little bit of an overview, is it tells you advancing, declining, new highs, lows, above, below the 50-day moving average, all sorts of great stuff. You got a little bit of a heat map here. The heat map, take it for what you will. This is set on some of the stronger stocks in the S&P 500. I shouldn't say that. I should say the top 500 stocks across the Dow, the S&P, and the Qs. It's got gainers, losers. It's got major news down here to the right, all sorts of cool stuff. Even has a little bit of an economic calendar. This isn't one that I reference personally. I usually like CNBC, and I like MarketWatch.com and Yahoo Finance when it comes to my economics. What I do like about Finviz is this earnings calendar. Now, these aren't all of them, but they are some of the larger caps or the bigger names, and it's a really cool reference. So, once again, I don't want to get too deep because this is great software. We have a video on it specifically. Scrolling further down, or I should say, once we get up and type in a ticker symbol, you will get news specific to it. I'm going to click on the spiders because that's where I usually start, and I'm going to show you this on ThinkorSwim because I usually get on the charts with ThinkorSwim. But since we're at Finviz, we can do the same thing. This is a daily chart that's showing me what I want to see for the day. This is where I take a little bit of an analysis of sentiment changes or continuations. In this case, definitely continuation, right? Looks like we've been bearish for a little while without the bias of focusing on my positions. I'm going to reference that, guys. I'm not teasing you. I'm just letting you know that we're all human. Your positions should not dictate your outlook on the markets. You got to start fresh. So go to an outside source to do your market breakdown before you go back and manage your positions. But scrolling down a little bit, we've got all sorts of cool news feeds. And this is really neat. It's going to be relevant to the ticker symbol that you have. The SPY is pretty vague because it is an ETF. So let's do something more specific back on ThinkorSwim. What's neat about this is, let me go ahead and close my watch list. This is my sector watch list. This gives me my top-down approach on my outperforming, underperforming sectors based on what we just saw. I'll show you here in a second. But these gadgets. Now, the gadgets that I'm going to refer to for this class are going to be live news. That's a good one. Trader TV, which is your CNBC. Yes, folks, I told you could get CNBC on this. But it does bog your system down. If you've got a TD TV, it's probably best to just go from there. And then your use the news. And what's cool about the use the news, this is something that I have recently found that I'm starting to use, is there's this little tag here. And if you want to click on it, it kind of opens up the categories of what you can choose. And there's all sorts of really cool things. Sector summary, industries, event news. One that I thought was pretty cool down here if you guys want trading ideas. Now with Maverick you don't, because you get them every Sunday and Wednesday. And geez, market updates on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. But if you want trade ideas, you got all sorts of things you can click there. What's really cool, if you don't know where to start, you've got, well, select the most popular. You can go ahead and click on that. Whatever most of the traders with ThinkorSwim are selecting, you can go ahead and click on that, and then you can hit save. Now, you can see the number of updates they have specific to each area, and they are color-coded, if you could remember. I don't, because I just closed it. But here they are, and they have specific ticker symbols. How much fun is that? So once you open up one of these, let's go down. Let's see if we can find a red one. There you go. Analyst rating change. I'm going to go ahead and click it, and it gives you a whole list of all of them. And this over here is the information on it. And it's a separate window. I can open it up. I can read it. I can get as nerdy as I want. So ThinkorSwim does have some pretty cool stuff if you know how to build it. One that I found that I've used a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and just delete this gadget, is more specific to the ticker symbol I want to see. And that's going to be here under live news. Now, live news is going to give you just kind of general news, and you guys can see that I can actually extend this lower, and it just goes forever, right? But if I want to, let's see, something specific on Twitter, go ahead and hit it there. Scroll down here. Oh, look at this. What Elon Musk wants, Elon Musk gets. Oh, let me go ahead. So I just click on it, and I have to carry this over because it popped up in a separate tab. But it will give me the article down here, and I can scroll through and I can read it. Whatever I think is interesting about it, I can actually pop to the next one. So it's really cool because it'll pop it up in a separate window. Now you can set this up if you got multiple screens. It just makes things much easier. Anytime you want, you can go ahead and close it. So I thought the live news was pretty cool when it comes to a specific symbol that you're looking for. You can leave that open, minimize it. I'm going to go ahead and just delete the gadget. Of course, I'll show you the TV. Let's go to the Trader TV. You've got the TD Ameritrade network, which is actually pretty specific. It's neat because once this opens, you can actually type in symbols, ticker symbols, and it'll go to any sort of specific article there. Or you can go to CNBC. That's the one that I use if you don't have a TV. Just a warning, guys, this will actually bog down your software if you don't have a high internet speed, and it can slow things down immensely. I'm going to go ahead and just mute this guy while you can see him talking. But hitting this button detaches it. If you got 4 monitors, 2 monitors, 3 monitors, you can move them around, put them wherever you want. All right. I told you I'd show it to you. Whether it's relevant or not, you're welcome. All right. So where I go from here, let's jump back to Finviz. And I'm going to go to Home with the Elite. Actually, this is for free too. I don't think you even need the Elite for this. But if I go to Groups up in this area, this gives me sectors based on daily performance, weekly performance, 1 month, 3 months, half year. Isn't this great? This is great stuff. I'm not working for Finviz or anything. I just think it's kind of easy. I like to see bar charts. I'm a very simple guy. So this will give me kind of what's outperforming or underperforming over whatever selected time frame. Now, that's the first place you can go. So you could write these down, carry them back to your software, go forward from there. Or if you're like me and you guys watched my sector strength watch list video, then you'll know that I've already built this. Here it is. Let's open it up. There's my sectors. I've got them listed here. They're all the IYs. You guys can choose whatever one you want. That's great. And I've got the SPX highlighted with my 20-day performance percentage and my 50-day. So I'm looking for 1 month and basically a quarter. So let's start with the 1 month. I'm going to go ahead and click it. And this shows me what is the strongest and weakest based on the S&P as the median, because I highlighted it. Reference the video, please. And you'll see that, hey, there's a lot of stuff underperforming. Energy right now is just getting, or doing really, really well. It's holding in great. IYZ is just getting smashed. So since it's already linked through here, I can just click it and start popping up charts. Well, first I got to get to the charts. So here is my telecommunications, and you can see it's bleeding a little bit lower. Let's go all the way up to energy, and you can see it looks more like a pullback. To the bull side, actually, let's go ahead and just do a live analysis of these markets. I'm going to go to chart, type in the SPX, and say, okay, I'm going to be bearish. We're below the moving averages, so I'm going to focus a little bit more on the bearish sectors. Now, over here on the left, you can see that the bearish sector is definitely IYZ. I'll click on that, and I'm going to scan on it. Reference TOS stock scanner, right? I told you I was going to combine a bunch of classes together. So let's get into the stock hacker and build a trade, or I should say a scan, looking for our specific trade. Now guys, you can reference our video on this, but I am going to start off with optionable. I want to make sure whatever I scan for is optionable because I'm looking for an options trade, right? Interaction group. We're going to go to industry. What I say, it's going to be information technologies or communication services. Let's do that. It's the IT, wireless communication, stuff like that. I'll just select all of them because they are definitely underperforming. Now, excluding groups, I'm just going to look for what's out there, and if it's too big of a number, I can actually start working backwards from there. Let's just start pretty much fresh. So the first thing I can do is add a filter here. I'm going to go to stock. You guys know me. I want to make sure that it's got enough volume in it. So let's make sure it does over 1 million shares. Maximum, it doesn't matter to me. That's fine. Let's go ahead and add another filter. The next filter is going to be price. I like stuff with an ask price, or last, I should say, of, let's say, $25 all the way to 200, right? Yeah, creature of habit here, folks. So enter on that. Okay, we got some pretty good stocks to look at. Now, you can add whatever filters you want. I'm just going to keep it pretty simple for this example. Go ahead and hit scan, and you can see, oh, I've got a whole slew of stocks to look at. Stocks that are doing well, stocks that aren't, you know, the deal. So I'm just going to go over here to this little window, save as a watch list, and I'm going to call it, tech, or how about telecom, scan, and I can give it a date if I'd like to. What's the date today? Boy, it's the 1st of September. Can you believe that already? Doesn't matter. So go ahead and hit save, and all of them disappeared because they are now in a watch list. Now I can just go ahead and switch this out. If I just go to personal, scroll down, you'll see that it's right there, Telecom 9122. Let's stretch this one down. And it's already connected. If not, this is where you do it. We have a video on it. Go back to charts, and I'll just bam through one at a time. What do I like? What do I want to see? And this is where it starts. So super easy, super simple. What's great, folks, about this is if you scan a lot, don't feel free to delete these. It's okay to go back and hit the delete gadget. If you want to go back and completely delete your charts, you can, or excuse me, your scans. I could delete this telecom, hit yes, it's permanently gone. It just depends on how active you want to be. I, once again, scan maybe twice a week, twice a week, depending on what I'm looking at. The preference is yours. So with a daily routine overall, guys, just make sure you make it your own. So that's about all I got for you guys, taking all the videos that you've seen with us, kind of putting them together and coming up with your own little routine. This does not have to be hours and hours long. This could be 10, 15 minutes a day if you do it 3, 4 times a week. This could be an hour a week if you want to do one real deep one. Move forward from there. All right, folks, thanks for joining me as always, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, everyone.